Yo, what's going on, y'all?
What's happening, everybody? Let me
There we go.
I don't know why I didn't do this already.
What is popping? Week 13, start sit stream. What's going on, man? How's everybody doing?
Drop a link in the Discord.
Yeah. Yep. We got Daniel in here. Tommy, good to see you. Greg, good to see you. Big Trav, what's up?
Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Hope everybody's enjoying. If you're in watching TV, if not the World Cup early this morning, college championships are on right now.
Yeah.
And we got it's start sit time because there's only a couple of weeks left in the fantasy regular season. Yeah,
man, it's I mean, we've been saying it for a few weeks. Crunch time. It's crunch time. Got to be ready to go.
You might be trying to keep your season alive. You could clinch a playoff berth this week. You could be trying to stay alive.
For every question, put your record in the chat. Put your standing in the chat so that we know, because that might help with
scoring.
Right.
Yeah. Start sit.
If you need a big week versus can you go a little bit more conservative with your lineup? All that stuff helps.
Yeah, I feel like the number of what should I do with my team questions are going to wane. I have to imagine trade deadlines have come and gone for most, if not all, leagues at this point.
Yeah, a lot of pickup questions though. Who should I start questions?
Yeah, and that's fine. Just again, just a friendly reminder: start sit questions will be prioritized. Obviously, everybody has spots to lock up.
Yeah,
and that's exciting. Couple of I guess. Just to go through a couple of things, Travis Etienne, who exited early last week, is still listed on the injury report as questionable, but Doug Peterson said he's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta think you're going to see a regular workload from him, but let's keep an eye on things leading up to kickoff. Jamar Chase, listed as questionable, expected to go. There seems to be a lot of optimism there.
Josh Jacobs, also listed as questionable all week, but chances are he'll be able to give it a go again, even despite the heavy workload that he got last week.
I think the heavy workload is is the reason why he didn't practice this much this week.
Right.
They are just load managing him, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not too worried about him.
Again, props to him for the insane week-winning week. I mean, what did he get for you if you had him in fantasy and you started him? 45 points?
In half PPR, he had 45 points, so I think he approached a 50 burger in full PPR.
Crazy.
Yeah. Monster performance.
Now another Raheem Mostert is going to be back.
Yep, he's back.
So that, I mean, he's going to be, flex worthy, but that also just downgrades Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
Who wasn't a strong RB2 candidate. Now he's more like an RB3.
And it's a brutal matchup. The 49ers are the least charitable defense against running backs for fantasy purposes. It's a revenge game for both of them. So if you like that narrative, maybe that bumps them a little bit.
True.
Both teams, they both come from San Francisco. They both played there. Wilson as recently as this year.
Elijah Mitchell out.
But by the numbers, toughest matchup for the backs in Miami.
Elijah Mitchell out also, and he when Christian McCaffrey played without Elijah Mitchell in the sample size that we have, 81% snap share.
Yeah.
So he goes right back up to elite usage, and yes, Jordan Mason might factor in a little bit there. TDP might factor in a little bit there, but it is going to be the Christian McCaffrey show for the fantasy playoff, which is what you drafted him for and what you likely traded for him for if you got him, at or near the deadline.
Yeah, or at least
or when the San Fran trade went
clinch
down,
a playoff spot. This is why you have him. This is why you drafted him where you did.
Yep. So yeah, you want to get into the chat here?
Yeah, we can do that. We can absolutely do that. What's happening, everybody? Good to see y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First question, Daniel, what's going on with Mike Williams out? Should I start Godwin over Keenan Allen?
The Chargers are playing. Who the Chargers got this week?
I think I would play Keenan Allen, but I want to find a way to put Godwin in the flex spot. But who?
The Chargers are playing Vegas on the road. Yeah.
This is a situation where I want to see your whole lineup right now because I want to play both of them. But if I have to play one, I want to play Keenan.
Yeah. Probably. Although Godwin has been on a bit of a heater recently.
Yeah. And
tough call. I'd want to see the whole lineup to confirm.
And depending on if Lattimore plays, because he's questionable as well. Depending on if he plays, could be a Godwin week again with Mike Williams and Lattimore. We already know how that ends.
That's Mike Evans.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying as it relates to Godwin.
Right. Godwin could see even more numbers.
Right.
More looks, higher numbers. Yep. Agreed.
But I still want to play Keenan. But I want to play both, so throw your lineup in the chat. Tommy, good to see you. Uncle Lenny, Jeff Wilson, or Pacheco full PPR?
Pacheco.
Yeah.
They're playing Cincinnati. Could be a shootout. Fournette is officially in a timeshare in a tough matchup with Rachaad White. Jeff Wilson, again, San Francisco, tough matchup. I would go Pacheco.
I think I would go Pacheco too. Jerick McKinnon is healthy and is going to be playing, so he might eat into his touches a little bit. We don't know what's happening with an elevation as far as Melvin Gordon is concerned, so we might see that within the next 12 hours. We're not sure. But as it stands right now, I would play Pacheco. And even if Melvin Gordon is active, I don't know if they give him a large role straight out the gate. I'd still go Pacheco in that instance.
If Melvin Gordon is elevated, I'm playing Pacheco.
Yep. And Greg Z, happy Saturday to you too.
Greg?
Man, I'm gonna want to, since Juwan Johnson is out, Olave is a stronger start for me. And with
that's fine.
With Leonard coming back, just like in the last question, we prefer Isaiah Pacheco. So
it's either Pacheco
for the flex,
or Olave.
I think I still want Olave in full PPR with no Juwan Johnson.
I'm fine with that. I would be fine with Olave there.
Yeah. Big Trev.
Lenny was out, it'd be Rachaad White for me over Pacheco, but Lenny's in.
True.
It would be Rachaad White over Olave for me if Lenny was out, but that's not the case. So Olave.
Rashad or Kamara? That's a crazy question, but I mean, it's a fair question. It's a fair question.
White at home. Kamara has been pedestrian this year. Like, yes, he's got a couple RB1 weeks. I think last
and Melvin Ingram is back. And when Melvin Ingram is back, he does cap his floor.
Mark Ingram?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram. He does cap his ceiling a little bit. Just from a touch perspective. So Rachaad White.
This is just not the same Alvin Kamara that we've grown accustomed to.
True.
Just, in full PPR the past few weeks, 7, 13, 7, 9. He had a blow up spot week 8 against Vegas. That's, they're getting
that 4 touchdown game or whatever, 3 touchdown game.
Yeah, they're right. Or caught 9 for almost 102, ran for 62 on the ground. Tampa Bay is a bottom 3 matchup for running backs. I mean, it's Rachaad White for me, and this is kind of easy.
Especially in a game like we said where targets might be going elsewhere other than Mike Evans, depending on what happens with Marcus Lattimore.
Yeah, it's Rachaad. Me.
And as far as Jimmy G versus Kirk Cousins, I mean, I've told you last week how much I like Jimmy G in terms of what his consistency has been this year as a rock solid low end QB1, but Kirk Cousins has been right there too. I think I gotta go Kirk. Gotta go Kirk.
Cousins. Yeah, at home in a 1:00 start against the Jets, and future Pro Bowler Mike White. Like it's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
49er, and Jimmy might not have Debo tomorrow. Debo is trending toward a game time call. Another name that we want to throw out there just in general, as it pertains to whether it's Debo himself or if you have another 49er like Garoppolo. Debo is trending toward a game time call with the same hamstring injury that limited him last week and led to a poor performance. So Kirk for me, and it's kind of easy.
And Big Trev, good to see you. DPJ or Thielen, full PPR. You're 7-5, tied for second, but have the most points in the league. Bro, I would go DPJ with
so just go
with
for
no
the
David Njoku
and Watson back.
Right. Yeah, DPJ.
I do like Thielen as a floor play, but if you're tied for second and have the most points, you don't need to like try to play it safe and just like kind of secure yourself 10 points here. Go for the ceiling play.
Yeah, get that first. Get that first if you're tied for second. Get that first. Jacob Ander, good to see you as well. PPR, Swift or CPAT, or Christian Watson, or Zay Jones.
Well, Zay Jones is on the injury report, and even if he wasn't, the answer is Christian Watson. He's on absolute fire right now. And Zay Jones, I know he had a career day last week, but he's on the injury report with a chest injury that limited him all week in practice. I feel like this is a situation where lightning doesn't necessarily strike twice. I liked Zay Jones last week. Between him and Watson, it's Watson for me, and with a pretty wide margin because Zay Jones is on the injury report.
Yeah, he's got a touchdown in each of the 3 weeks. In each of the past 3 weeks, he's got a great ceiling.
Swift or Patterson, the Falcons are, I forget where they are. Oh, they're at home against Pittsburgh. Patterson. Swift has a good matchup too, but Swift is still very like seeing 35% of the snaps.
He's not the RB1
last week.
He is not the RB1.
Well, I guess that's the other problem.
CPAT is.
Yeah, Patterson. I mean, 34% of the snaps, 31% of the snaps, 31% of the snaps the past 3 weeks for DeAndre Swift.
Added benefit that you get the special teams role.
Yeah, I mean, Swift has been.
If you get points for that, you might get a touchdown out of him that way too.
Patterson's been better in a better matchup.
Yep. But yeah, I like Christian Watson over Zay Jones as well.
Yeah, Patterson, Watson.
Yep.
Jacob.
Danish, good to see you. Best tight end to pick up off waivers. It depends who's on waivers. List a few. List a few and we'll get back to you.
Moreau if he's still there.
I gotta imagine he's picked up.
I mean, I guess Ty Conklin's got a revenge game this week with, again, future Pro Bowler Mike White.
True. I'd go back to Greg Dulcich, who got a touchdown called back last week. If somebody dropped him,
I can't imagine. If somebody dropped him, then sure, yeah. But
did somebody drop Tyler Higbee because of no Matt Stafford? I don't know.
I'm out on it. He goose egged last week. I know Wofford is in over Bryce Perkins, but
I'd rather him over Ty Conklin, even in a revenge matchup.
Rams get Seattle. That is a favorable matchup. Yeah, all right. Higbee over Ty. Higbee if he's out there. If Higbee is rostered. If Foster Moreau is rostered. If I have to imagine Dulcich is still rostered, but if he's not, Dulcich. If he is, if all three of those guys are, then I would say probably a guy like Ty Conklin over Robert Tonyan, over who else might still be out there? Mike Gesicki, Noah Fant.
Did somebody drop Everett after a couple of bad weeks? I'm willing to go back to Everett. I'm willing to go back to Everett.
Yeah. I think we've named enough tight ends here, but let us know if we need to dig even deeper, Dinesh.
Joe Harris, full PPR.
What's up,
back
Joe?
in the playoffs, 6-6. Hey,
Nice.
much yeah, thanks to you, man. You made the right calls. You made the right calls. We just might have, helped you here and there. But thanks for that. You have 2 defenses on your team, KC and Green Bay. I mean, KC is a strong start
this week against the Bengals. I don't like either one of these.
I was gonna say for the fantasy playoffs,
Kansas City.
Yeah,
but for this week, of all of those options,
like I don't want to play him versus Justin Fields coming back.
No, I don't want to play the Packers. I guess I don't want to play the Chiefs against Burrow. I don't want to play the Jets against Kirk Cousins on the road. I don't want to play the Saints against Tom Brady on the road. I don't want to play the Falcons because their defense just stinks. And I guess by default I would say Detroit.
I guess I would say the Jets.
No, there's no way. No, because they're on the road in Minnesota. No shot. The Vikings are 9-2 and one of the best.
I mean, their defense has been great.
That's fine. They're on the road. I would not. I wouldn't. I'm taking a look at this. Why don't we keep it moving? I'll come back to
Detroit. Jacksonville looked like they finally figured it out. I don't want to play them Detroit versus Jacksonville now that they figured it out.
I mean, they're past the Jets had a decent day on the I'm just looking at their recent road games. They did okay against New England. That's because New England's offense stinks. Average day. These are all good matchups. In bad matchups, they have not delivered. And this is a bad matchup. The Vikings are a bottom matchup for opposing defenses. And on the road against the Vikings at home, I do not like that spot. I do not like that situation. Personally.
A lot of these matchups are just bad, so I gotta go with the defense that I like the most, and that's where I'm at with the Jets. Yes, the matchup is bad, but the unit is the best. All the matchups are bad.
Yeah, these are all bad, Joe. These are all bad.
But the Jets are the best of a bad group right there, to me.
I guess, but you're hoping for 5 points. As far as would I drop the Packers for Hasty? No, because ETN is reportedly good to go.
Yeah. And I like your running backs, man, but you are a little thin. Dropping Green Bay is fine, especially with KC's strong playoff schedule. But I wouldn't recommend any of those other options on the wire as a second running separate defense. Second defense. I like having 2 defenses in the fantasy playoffs and playing off of them.
Agree. Agree.
But I don't really like any of those options for the fantasy.
I agree. I don't like. That's what I'm like. I guess the Jets, but it's these are all not good options. Yeah. Anyway, I think we've said our piece on this.
Yep.
There's a non-zero chance there's somebody out there on the wire who we might actually like more, even if they don't look appealing at first glance. And real quick, Dinesh did list Everett as a guy who's available on waivers in addition to Conklin.
Pick him up.
Especially with Mike Williams out, yeah, I'm good with Everett. Dinesh as a waiver add for tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Everett's good. Conklin would be second there for me.
Yeah. Yep. Richie Rich, thanks for joining us. Start 2 running backs, full PPR, Swift, Najee, B-Rob, Perine, Lenny. Perine, if no Mixon.
Yeah, agreed. Because against Kansas City, yeah. And then in full PPR, I think I would go Najee on. I know it's
over B-Rob.
Yeah, because of the matchup.
Now, what if Antonio Gibson does not play? Because he is questionable.
Yeah, that makes it a little bit more enticing, but I do think I still lean Najee because of the matchup. The Giants are, the Giants are a little bit more middle of the pack against the run recently. I guess if Gibson is out, where is that game? Is it in, it's in New York, so it's a little tougher. It's a little tougher.
I guess I'd go Najee. Yeah. With Jalen Warren a little bit banged up too. He's questionable in his own right.
I think the matchup is better for Najee in the Dome. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Falcons defense that is Okay, they're also a little bit middle of the pack, but I do think they are a worse collective unit than the Giants.
True.
So for me, yeah, and if Mixon is in, then sure, Najee and Brian Robinson.
Yeah, it's a good, solid swerve. But
yeah,
I mean, if Mixon is out, obviously you're starting Perrine and then Najee over B-Rob.
Yeah, but if Mixon is in, then just Najee and Brian Robinson. Swift would be third for me if Mixon is back.
Holiday season. And happy holiday season, everybody out there.
It is the holiday season. Happy early holidays to everybody. Let's have a fun festive season that includes some wins.
Absolutely. Christian Watson, Mike Evans, or overtime Zay Jones.
Or Zay Jones. Watson, is this nuts?
Watson, especially with the Lattimore matchup. Now, if Lattimore does not play,
then Mike Evans.
But if Lattimore plays, and we'll keep you updated on this in terms of what happens for the 10 a.m. stream, so come through then too. But Christian Watson, if Lattimore plays.
They do not play until Monday night, the Saints, so that does make it kind of difficult, whereas the Packers play in the 1 o'clock slate.
Got you. Good to know. I wasn't tuned into that.
Lattimore returned to practice, but health is still a concern. He was limited. Lattimore was limited in Thursday's practice. I don't see anything yet about Friday's practice. I'll see if I can find something about Marshawn Lattimore, because this is an important storyline for anybody who may have missed our Tuesday stream. For their careers, I think at this, I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this. Mike Evans averages less than 10 fantasy points per game in his career when he goes up against Marshawn Lattimore and the Saints. So if Marshawn Lattimore
a couple of those
is active,
skewed by the fact that he just gets kicked out of games when he's playing against Lattimore. So you do have to factor that in. But
right,
still,
that's just a weird intangible that you have to consider.
Yeah. So
So if Lattimore doesn't go, which we're unfortunately possibly not going to know until like Sunday night, then Evans. I guess based off of that, maybe I still lean Mike Evans over Christian Watson, because if Lattimore goes, it's possible he's less than 100%. It's actually might be probable he's less than 100% if he goes. You know he's going to get up for this game. If he can go.
Christian Watson, to me, is safe at this point.
Watson is safe. Evans would be like an all or nothing play if you think you need, like, you're like, I need my best player to potentially pop. That could be.
Now remember with Christian Watson, yes, you might be thinking, the touchdowns have to stop at some point. But you also have to remember how many vacated touchdowns there were, when DeAndre
when Devontae Adams left.
Yeah, when Devontae Adams left.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has now found another guy who he can utilize in that role. Not saying that Christian Watson is, half as what Adams is, but
I gotcha.
Playing the role in a touchdown-heavy role, obviously relied upon. I don't know if the touchdowns are going anywhere.
Yeah, maybe we can't
Christian Watson is
expect
just a strong start,
but we can't expect one a game. But at this point, he's given us plenty of reasons, like you said, to feel like you can safely fire him up.
Yeah. Yep. 21 points last week. Yep. Down.
Yep.
Tommy Talaga, flex PPR.
Rashad White,
or Adam Thielen.
White.
DPJ.
I would go White.
Would you?
I would. I think White is going to. I think White is the 1A rest of season. I do. I wouldn't be surprised if Fournette forced a 50-50 split, but I'm willing. I have a feeling Rashad White will take the first snap or get the most touches, something like that. I do.
I feel like it's Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon last season. I think it's going to be a 50-50 split, because Leonard Fournette is still very good in his own right, and he's an offensive weapon for this team, especially with, again, Lattimore game. and how heavily targeted Leonard Fournette was last season in games where he only touched the ball on the ground in terms of rushing 9 times. Happened a few times last season. I'm not saying that I don't like Rachaad White. I'm saying that, bell cow, I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 split moving forward. So
even if that's
to
the
me,
case,
I like in PPR.
Yeah.
I like DPJ.
I'm perfectly fine with Rachaad White. Obviously, without Leonard Fournette, different story. But last week he caught 9. Even if that's cut in half, he still catches 4 or 5.
But remember the week before that.
White.
Remember the week before that when Leonard Fournette played in week 10, I believe, 0 targets, 22 rush attempts, and this is PPR. Like, you love the rush attempts, but he doesn't have that PPR upside if he doesn't get quite the same amount of rush attempts or doesn't break 100 yards and get a touchdown on the ground. Then he's giving you less than 10 points. So in PPR, I think I just want to take the wide receiver who I think will have a good week with no David Njoku and a quarterback upgrade in a revenge game.
Yeah, both positive for DPJ. We are split, Tommy. I do think I would play Rachaad White, but John prefers the receiver. Hopefully the dialogue helps make a decision. Let us know if you need anything else.
Absolutely.
With that, we're happy to expand if we need to. I like Thielen as well. I think he's kind of like a boring floor play, though, between these options.
And in terms of Brady or Carr, Richie Rich?
Carr.
Yeah.
Against the Chargers? Yeah. Carr.
Brady's just been such a floor play. I mean,
Brady's
not that Carr at least has some ceiling weeks in there.
Yeah, Carr has
better weapons, not facing their nemesis.
He doesn't have better weapons, but what he does have is a worse defense to rely on, so it's more likely he has to keep throwing it.
Yeah, true.
Carr.
In holiday season, it all depends on Mixon's health. Just throw Kenneth Walker in there and
right.
If Mixon plays, then throw Mixon in there instead.
If Mixon is active, Mixon. If he's out, you already know.
Great swerve.
If it's a Walker, yeah. But I would play Mixon.
Clamped easy. Aaron Jones or Kenneth Walker?
I would personally go Jones. Walker, it's a tough matchup by the numbers, but Aaron Donald isn't playing.
Who's your RB1?
Yeah, if it's Saquon, obviously. If it's Derrick Henry, obviously.
There are 4 running backs I want in ahead of either of those guys. Otherwise, I want those guys in. If it's not Derrick Henry, Eckler, Jacobs, or Chubb, I want all those other guys in.
Shoot, we missed a super from Justine Garcia.
We apologize.
Sorry,
thank you very much for the super.
I didn't see a little notification. But
yeah, me neither. But thank you very much.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
PPR, you have Moreau, but Conklin, Ingram, Dulcich, Higbee, and Woods are on the
They're all available. So I'm fine with sticking with Moreau.
Yep.
At this point, I'm kind of comfortably assuming that Darren Waller's season is done. He's the Moreau steps into the potential number 2 role in this offense behind Devontae Adams. It's not super luxurious, but of all of these guys, you're hoping for 4 for 40 and a touchdown in a given week. I guess maybe Higbee, maybe.
He's one of the few tight ends. You know how many tight ends?
A little more upside.
You know how many tight ends had a 100% snap share last week?
What, Foster Moreau, and that's it?
Foster Moreau and one other, and George Kittle. In terms of elite usage,
Kittle gets off.
Foster Moreau and George Kittle. This is why we've been saying getting Foster Moreau in all your dynasty leagues for about three years. Foster Moreau, with no Darren Waller, Foster Moreau is honestly, I think, a must play. He's a top 8. He might be 8, but he's top 8 in terms of tight ends this week.
Yeah, there's touchdown upside there, I guess, a little bit. I think Higbee has a little bit more of a volume, has more potential for volume, but his
QB is much better.
Right. Moreau has the much better quarterback when you're talking about Derek Carr versus John Wofford.
Yep.
So the touchdown upside is there, and I'll, I'll live with the 2.5 point weeks from Moreau if every now and then he's giving me 10 because he scores, a touchdown on top of 4 for 40.
Right.
Or 3 for 40 or something like that. I would go Moreau here. Dulcich would be a little bit more interesting, but again, the quarterback stinks. Dulcich is interesting by himself. It doesn't take much for Russell. Even Russell Wilson can throw, make short intermediate throws. Dulcich is interesting here. I guess I would actually
both of them.
I would make him put him over Higbee. I guess
I
I'll
want
put
Dulcich on my bench, but I'm playing Moreau this week for sure.
I play Moreau, but I roster Dulcich.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for the super.
Yeah, Justine, let us know. Sorry about that. Let us know. Let us know who is a potential drop on your bench to add Dulcich, and we'll identify it like as soon as we see it. Let us know if you're still in here. Appreciate the super.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Back up to Clamp's question. I would go Aaron Jones.
Oh, we got another super. Thank you. You don't need to do that. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, Justin.
PPR, Montgomery, Pacheco, Wilson, Perrine, or 3 or 2 running backs.
Let's see.
Or Zay Jones or Pickens. Montgomery, Pacheco.
Got it.
And Montgomery, Pacheco, and Perrine if Mixon can't go. If Mixon does go, Montgomery and Pacheco, and then Pickens.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Montgomery, Pacheco, Pickens.
Pacheco, White, Wilson, Perrine. Again, it depends on whether or not Mixon's playing. If Mixon is playing, then Pacheco. If Mixon isn't playing, then Perrine.
I would rank. I always like the revenge game narrative, but with Raheem Mostert back and it being as bad of a matchup as it is for Jeff Wilson, he is last for me in all of these scenarios here. I'll say that as a blanket statement.
But he's not a drop.
No, he's not a drop. He's just not an option for me this week, given these names.
Yeah.
So Pacheco. If Mixon doesn't go, then Samaje is first for me. If Mixon does go, then Pacheco, White. Then I guess I would put Wilson third and then P. Ryan.
And then in terms of your wide receivers there, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Godwin, Chase, Jameson, great wide receivers. You're playing Chase. You're playing Jefferson.
And I would play.
I would go. Godwin. Oh man,
I hate that choice. I would probably go.
Amon-Ra. It's been awesome.
I think I would go Godwin. I mean, you're talking about two very similar players. They both play predominant slot roles.
Yep.
Both are actually, not the simplest matchups, right? Jacksonville has actually been sneakily steady against opposing wide receivers, and the Saints traditionally are. Although, again, we expect if Lattimore goes, he will exclusively see Mike Evans. That opens up Godwin in a big way. Tampa Bay is a desperate team playing at home. I would want a desperate Tom Brady throwing it to his check down guy in this circumstance. I would say Jefferson, Chase, and Godwin for me.
You really can't go wrong with either.
You can't go wrong.
They all have a 10 target floor.
Yeah.
So really, it's a flip of a coin.
A 10-point floor.
It's a flip of a coin. Yeah.
Probably a 10-point floor.
But you're playing Jefferson and Chase, and then it's whoever you like more. Which player is more fun for you to play?
Sure. Yeah. If you have a favorite, if there's one of those guys where you're just like, I just love Amon-Ra or I just love Godwin, then play that guy. Play the dude you maybe more prefer to root for, and it's easy. And your decision is easy if Chase ultimately would be surprisingly at this point ruled out. Then you just play those first 3 names.
Yep.
And Justine has Goddard and waiting for the playoffs. All right, then I would just hold Moreau
Goddard.
and you have the first 3. Okay, then I would drop a tight end or 2 to depending on what's out there on the wire. I wouldn't hold all of these guys. Like Conklin and Ingram, I would probably drop if I have Moreau, Dulcich, and Goddard waiting. I would drop Conklin and Ingram.
So all right.
So if that's what you mean, but
or did she mean the
sorry,
first three?
So
Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Godwin.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm throwing
Chase
Chase in there, and then it's whichever one you want. Whichever one of the Amon-Ra or Godwin you like more. Me, I would put Amon-Ra. Nick would put Godwin. So it's up to you. But you can't go wrong. You literally can't go wrong. Great wide receiver core you got.
Yeah, I typically have a rule, John, you know this, where I am very leery about playing a guy in his first game back, and you might be thinking the same thing, having him still on your bench. Jamar Chase is an exception to the rule.
Yep.
If he's active, he's in. Has to be. His upside is too enormous. Again, in this game against the Chiefs, yeah.
But thank you again very much for the super. Very kind of you. Yeah, if you have any more questions, you don't got to super us. You can just throw them in the chat and we'll get to them. But thank you very much. We appreciate it a lot. Hopefully we helped you out, and hopefully you win your matchups this week.
Yeah, let's get it.
Yep.
So yeah, I just want to see if Clamped followed up at all.
Aaron Jones or Kenneth Walker?
I'd go Aaron Jones. I just would. But again, maybe that's because I'm a big fan of Aaron Jones, but it is a great matchup.
Yeah.
By the numbers. I got to give Aaron Jones that respect. Walker's nice. I would love to find a way to get him in my lineup, but if I have to pick one, for me, it's Aaron Jones.
And in terms of Goff, Jimmy G, or Mike White, I like Jimmy G because, again, he's been a rock-solid low-end QB1 for a while. I know last week he had a floor week, 13 points, but I expect him to get right back up to, right around 18 to 21 points, and that's a sweet spot for him. The connection with Ayuk is strong. CMC is in a full-time role. Honestly, boosts the quarterback a little bit for me, his floor.
The matchup boosts his floor too. Miami is a favorable matchup on defense, and also that's a pretty damn good offense on the other side.
Gonna have to keep up with Tyreek Hill, Waddle, all these other options on the other side of the ball, and what Tua can do. So yeah, Jimmy G. I like Jimmy G.
I'm fine with Jimmy G here. I'm fine with Jimmy G there. Matchup is. I would just caution. Debo is trending toward being a game time call, so it's possible he is playing without, his most dynamic playmaker. No disrespect to Christian McCaffrey.
And then Daniel, you have St. Brown and CD. Again, Nick would play Godwin over St. Brown. So that factors into the Godwin over Keenan. He would play Godwin and Keenan, and then sit St. Brown.
Yeah, I hate to do it. I don't want to sit Amon-Ra. But if I have Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and look, you might, and you can rule this out if you want to. If you're just like, no, I'm playing Amon-Ra, I can't blame you.
And I would play Amon-Ra.
Try to convince you otherwise, but I would personally, I hate to do it, but I would sit Amon-Ra to just play Keenan and Godwin.
And it's preferential. You can't go wrong.
Preferential.
Again, it's very good. Just like Justine, you got a great bunch of wide receivers there. So can't hate.
I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire to agree with me on this one.
And Justine, it's you're playing your brother, so it's extra competitive. All right, I hope you win.
Yeah,
you got a great squad there. You got a great squad.
Dinesh has a question about Daniel Jones or Deshaun Watson. I don't think it's a dumb question. I think it's fair to wonder about what can we potentially or possibly expect tomorrow from Deshaun Watson. It's his first game in 2 years.
One of these guys has top 6 upside, and the other one doesn't.
Yeah, but in this scenario, if you don't trust him yet, like you said, you kind of
been waiting all season. What's Daniel Jones' true upside?
I don't know.
He's been a top 16 fantasy quarterback, but he's 16. He's going to get you 17 fantasy points.
Yeah, he'll get you 17.
He's not going to get you much more than that. The spike weeks for Daniel Jones really haven't been there this year.
He's had a couple. He had 30 against Jacksonville. He had 26 against Detroit. So he's had a couple. Have they played Washington yet? No, they still have yet to play Washington. At home, I'll say this, Dinesh. I hear you, John, and I do like the idea of the upside play.
Houston.
If you need, it's actually not a great matchup by the numbers, believe it or not, because they could just run the ball. Houston is the worst run defense. And who does Cleveland have? Nick Chubb. It's not crazy to expect that Deshaun Watson gets eased into tomorrow. If you can play it safe, Daniel Jones. If you're an underdog and you're fighting for your playoff life, sure, let's just roll with Deshaun Watson. But I do think Daniel Jones is fine to fire up for 1 week. I am in I'll tell you right now. I'm in a scenario in my work league. I am the 6th seed. I am fighting for my playoff life. I have Marcus Mariota and I picked up Watson. For this week, I'm playing Mariota, who is very similar as far as what we can expect from a fantasy performance to Daniel Jones. I'm playing Mariota. So I'm fine with rocking with Daniel Jones if you do not trust Deshaun Watson this week. Because based on this scenario, I guess I'm kind of agreeing with your concerns. So there you go.
I mean, yeah, maybe we don't expect a spike week, but you've been maybe holding on to Deshaun Watson for a while. I mean, you have to admit it is. We play fantasy football to have fun, and it is a little bit more fun tomorrow if you have Deshaun Watson in a lineup, just because of the risk factor and everything involved, than Daniel Jones. It just is. It's going to make you pay attention to that Browns game a little bit more. And we probably haven't been tuning into the Giants games for anything other than to see Saquon ball out, not Daniel Jones. So I think Deshaun Watson. But that's me. We're split.
Yeah, we're split there.
It really, to me, in terms of those two, who's more fun to play for you?
I mean, in a vacuum? Yeah, obviously it's more, Deshaun Watson. But if I'm trying to win a game, and I feel like I need to rock
one
with the
has
safer
top 6
choice,
ceiling to me.
I don't know about in a vacuum. Yes, tomorrow I don't know.
The floors to me are pretty similar, so that's why I'm willing to be fine with it.
I don't know if I'm ready to go there.
16-point floor, 17-point floor.
He hasn't played in 2 years. Something to be said for that. He hasn't played for 2 years.
So we're split. Tommy, flex, have PPR, Juju, Zay Jones, or Burks, and Hurst or Komet. Komet with no Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields back.
Yeah.
I like Hurst, but I think I'm rolling with Komet there just because
Chase is back for Hurst.
Yep. And then between Juju, Zay Jones, or Burks.
Juju returned after a 1-game absence from the concussion last week and put up 3 for 38. I think I would play Burks as well. Although it is a pretty bad matchup by the numbers.
Juju against Cincy is gonna have to run it up.
Yeah,
maybe the safe answer is probably just Juju. I do like what Treylon's been doing the past few weeks though.
Yeah, Burks can be an all or nothing play if you feel like you need it, but Juju is the safe play that you're hoping for like an 8-point floor.
Yeah. Eric Espino, tight end, have PPR, start Komet or Everett? Everett floor, Komet ceiling. And I think I'm just going Komet because I think he has a pretty decent floor too, and Everett's been a floor play for the past few.
Yeah, even without Mike Williams in the lineup, Everett has not necessarily capitalized in the form of fantasy production. So I'm fine with Komet with Justin Fields back.
Daggers, flex 2, Ayuk, Zay Jones, Treylon Burks, or Mostert. Ayuk for sure. And then Treylon or Zay? They're similar to me.
I'm not. Let me double check Zay Jones. Maybe I'm writing him off too quickly, but I don't know if he practiced all this week. It is a great matchup. He's questionable.
I think Zay's safer, and he has a lot. Since Jacksonville has figured it out, Zay Jones has been a strong play. So I don't know if they go away from that.
Yeah, all right. If Zay Jones is active, Daggers, if he's removed from the injury report, then I guess I'm fine with Zay. If he's ultimately ruled out, Burks is a floor
10
play.
Targets
Mostert is
14 targets in the past 2 weeks. The past 3 weeks.
I guess I would go Burks. I don't love the matchup against San Francisco for Mostert and Jeff Wilson. So yeah, Ayuk is without a doubt. And
I would go Zay Jones
if he's active. If he's not, Burks.
Yep. Don Ash, Everett, Conklin, Logan Thomas, Ingram, or Tunyon. Yep.
We got that one. I said to add Everett, as over Conklin. Yep, we got that one. Thanks, Dinesh.
And Jacob Ander, thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thank you very
Jacob.
much. Yes,
Appreciate that.
much appreciated. Can't speak today.
It's all good.
Joe Fellon, flex, pick one, running back, Brian Robinson, Rashad White, Gus Bus, non-PPR, running RB1, Chubb, RB2, Aaron Jones. B-Rob, if no Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, Robinson if Gibson is out. If Gibson is active, I'm personally fine
White.
going with Rashad White.
Yep.
And then and Chubb and Jones are your 1 and 2. Okay. Then Rashad White is a perfectly fine upside play, knowing you have those two guys if Gibson is active for Washington. If he's out, then you can go all in on Brian Robinson.
Absolutely.
Do we like Komet over Everett? I get yes we do. Just said that we did.
Ceiling there is there.
Yeah, they
Two
weren't
touchdown
great.
Game.
They weren't great outings the past couple of weeks, but obviously last week was with Trevor Siemian, an injured Trevor Siemian, as it turns out. He was ultimately placed on injured reserve earlier this week. That's how bad the Bears didn't want Nathan Peterman to play. They sacrificed Trevor Siemian's season. Jesus. Yeah, man. It was just like, oh, you're hurt? Oh, get in there, Trevor. We need you to tough it out. We can't throw Peterman out there.
Tore it all. Here you go.
Yeah, we can't throw him out there. Komet with Fields back. Yeah. For sure. Over Everett. Yes.
Yep. Any roster changes you should make? Big Trev, Kyler, Watson, T-Law, only for this week.
Does that mean Lawrence over Watson
CMC,
for this week,
Ramondre,
which I would
Rashad,
do?
Kamara, Tyreek, T, Thielen, Rondale, J-Mo.
Yeah, I mean,
DPJ, Kittle, Ravens, D.
No, at this point, no.
Second most points, you're doing something right, man.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine,
it.
Big Trev. Here's the who else would you pick up? I mean, I guess you could.
No, I'm holding all those guys. You're good.
Yeah, I'm holding them all. Yeah, I guess if Rondale's ruled out in week 15 after coming out of the bye week, or sorry, they're on bye this week. If Rondale's ruled out week 14, and now it's been a couple games that he's missed, and you already have Tyreek and T. Higgins and Thielen, and J-Mo is now back plus DPJ, then Rondale could be a drop in week 14 for another defense.
Yeah,
right?
The Ravens defense has a weak
though.
matchup for one of the matchups in there.
So there you go.
So try to find a defense that in
Kansas City or something.
So they're playing Cleveland week 15. So if Cleveland, it's at Cleveland. So if Cleveland is a little
matchup.
bit, if Cleveland has gotten it going with Deshaun Watson and he's looking like the Deshaun Watson of old, that could be a scarier matchup for a defense. So week 15, try to find a team that has a good matchup week 15 and drop Rondale more for that defense. But otherwise, you're rolling with the Baltimore defense. If you play any defenses, which it looks like you do because you shouted that out, because they have in week 16 and 17 ATL and Pittsburgh. I like that. And leading up, Denver and Pittsburgh, leading up to the Cleveland game, they got a great matchup over the next few weeks. But I want somebody else for that week 13 matchup, just in case. So drop Rondale for them. White Mamba, Matheson, Pittman or Palmer in the flex, full PPR. I still think I got to roll with Pittman over Palmer, even though there's no Mike Will.
Yeah, I mean, even with no Mike Will, Pittman is the number one. It's a tough matchup. They're playing the Cowboys, but they're going to have to throw. And in full PPR, Pittman should, again, 10 target floor.
Yeah.
Catches 7 or 8 balls, boom. You have the floor of what you need.
Yep.
And game script should be in his favor for that entire game.
Joe Fellon, pick 2. Ayuk and for me, it'd be McLaurin and Pittman.
McLaurin's been kind of quiet recently, and it's not a great matchup. Let me just double check on McLaurin. Yeah, it's actually
I'd still go back to that.
pretty bad matchup, and he's been kind of quiet the past couple of weeks. 4 for 48, 4 for 55 the past 2 weeks. Not great. With Debo nursing a hamstring injury for the second straight week.
Okay, yeah, it hinges on whether or not Debo's playing. It does.
Well, we're not going to know that for McLaurin or Watson. And I think regardless, I think I go Ayuk and Pittman here, Joe. Ayuk is he led didn't he lead the team in receiving again last week?
He did. He didn't catch the touchdown, but yeah, he led the team in receiving.
5 for 65 on 8 targets. He's been, he's getting the targets or the touchdowns, and sometimes both. With Debo
against Miami.
Yeah, with Debo banged up, Joe, I'm going Ayuk, and I would go Pittman. Watson in non-PPR, this is where it's like, okay, Watson does need a touchdown most likely to come through. And he's done that the past few weeks. But I would, in non-PPR, rely a little bit more on volume that I've seen prior to more than just the past few weeks. I would go Ayuk and Pittman here.
Yeah, I guess. Now, if you are moonshotting, then Ayuk and Watson. But
if you're moonshotting, yeah, Ayuk and Watson. But if you're not, Ayuk and Pittman.
And Iron, yeah.
What's happening, Iron?
That's cool.
Is it weightlifting worlds? All right. Who's the favorite? Probably somebody from I don't know. Some really big dude from Eastern Europe.
Yeah. Is it you?
Could be.
Iron,
are you in the competition, Iron?
Yeah. Trevor Zanata struggling on tight end, half PPR, Higbee, Hill, Tanyan, Fant. Higbee, man.
Of these options, Higbee, just because I guess Wofford's a better option, I guess, than Bryce Perkins with no Cooper Kupp, with no Allen Robinson. And in this match, at least it's a great matchup. Seattle is, by the numbers, the most favorable matchup for opposing tight ends. So the situation is in Higbee's favor. Tunyon has not done it this year. Fant has hardly done anything this year. Taysom Hill, he might get you 15. He might get you half a point.
And Iron, I would absolutely be going Najee and Zonovan. Start Bam Knight.
Starting Bam?
Yeah, over all those guys, yeah.
Yeah, you're playing Najee over all these dudes for sure. And then,
Gibson's banged up. Wilson's got to deal with Raheem Mostert.
Right.
Who does Zonovan have to deal with? Michael Carter, I don't believe is...
Ty Johnson. Carter is doubtful.
Yeah.
I guess this is maybe... James Robinson might be active.
So?
James Robinson will probably...
Zonovan RB1 in that offense, too.
Possible. Yeah.
They started him over, and they kept James Robinson as a healthy scratch. When they could have elevated James Robinson, they decided to elevate Zonovan. Zonovan's the RB1 there.
I think James Robinson
Ty Montgomery's the RB2. Or Ty Johnson. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, Ty Johnson is like Montgomery, the third down. I believe
he played for the Jets, though. So
maybe for a cup of coffee. Yeah. Ty Johnson is the third down guy. Zonovan is probably the dude who has the best chance at an extended opportunity, and James Robinson is, he mixes in.
And JP, Christian Watson, I feel great rest of season. We talked about him earlier in the stream. Jameson is still a wait and see. So for me, it's absolutely Watson because we've seen it.
Yeah, right. I've seen it from Watson. I have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Better
but
QB.
The excitement around Jameson Williams is real. But for now, it is still just hype. So yeah, I'm very excited to see Jameson Williams.
Yes.
Again, it's widely kind of been stated at this point. Had he not suffered the torn ACL, there's a decent chance Jameson Williams is the first receiver drafted in the 2022 NFL draft over Drake London. Kid's really talented. Let's see what he can do. That being said, he hasn't done I don't mean to be rude, but just literally stating the fact he just hasn't done anything yet. Yes. Watson has.
And the Joker, I'm going David Montgomery, but I want to try to find a way to put Jamal Williams in my flex spot or whatever. So
I'm going
throw your whole
Jamal
roster
Williams.
in there. I want both, but I mean,
Yeah.
David Montgomery, no Khalil Herbert again.
Yeah.
Fields is playing, so that adds a little bit to this running game. Montgomery's been really good the past few weeks. 14 points last week.
What did Jamal do last week? Last week was Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
Didn't he have like 3 touchdowns last week? Oh no, that was the week before.
No,
he had 10 points.
10. Oh, that was against Buffalo in a tough matchup. Still, 18 for 66 and a touchdown. So I agree. I'm kind of flip-flopped on you as that you are, John. I want Jamal Williams in my lineup, but I want to find a way to get David Montgomery in there. So like,
fair.
Kind of the same thought, but I do think I'm gonna put Jamal against Jacksonville at home. I think I got to put Jamal Williams first in this group. I do, but David Montgomery would be second. And a guy I want to somehow find a way to get in there.
I want both of those running backs in my lineup.
I want them both in there, Joker. I do.
So name who's your RB1 or RB2 or whatever you're dealing with in your lineup. We'll help figure this one out. But yeah.
Yep.
And Justine, thank you again. Just wanted to shout you out again. Thank you again. Much appreciated. Corey Jones, you have Kyler Murray on bye and need a good quarterback. Yes, the Panthers and the Carolina and the Arizona Cardinals are on bye, so if you have any of those guys in your lineup, remember to switch them out if you're just on autopilot or whatever. But Kyler Murray on bye, need a quarterback for tomorrow. Jimmy G or Carr, and then Boyd or Slayton.
Jimmy's fine because, again, he's going up against Miami, favorable matchup, potential for a shootout there. So Jimmy's fine for me. And then with Jamar Chase probably back, it's Slayton over Boyd for me.
Yeah, Slayton has more, I guess, he has that, can do it on one play value. Not that Boyd can't, because he's shown that he can this year too. I guess I'm just going Darius Slayton because he feels like a little bit more of an integral part of that offense moving forward.
Yeah.
Boyd feels a little bit more tertiary now.
Yeah, I mean, he can give you a 20-point week, but he could give you a 2-point week. It's just a little bit more volatile.
Slayton feels like a stronger floor, same ceiling.
Yeah.
Or similar ceiling, not same ceiling. Mm-hmm. Leon, Watson, Palmer, Pickens, Sutton, Murray, Slayton, Jamal Williams, I guess, or Jameson Williams. Have to pick one and one in the flex.
Which Jay Williams, Lion? I got it. Okay, well, we can just play the game.
Yeah, I'm guessing since it's all wide receivers, it's Jameson, especially since it's behind all those other people. But if it's Jamal, then Jamal and Pickens. If not, Pickens and
Watson.
Pickens and Watson. Yeah. Palmer I like, but Watson. Pickens and Watson.
Yeah, give me Pickens against the Falcons, who has been looking great, and it's a great matchup, and Christian Watson for the upside.
Pick one wide receiver. Rest of season Pickens, Peoples Jones, or Zay Jones non-PPR. Pickens, man.
Pickens.
He's
that team's wide receiver 1 this year.
Yep. It's not Deontay.
No.
Tommy, you're rolling out Dak, T. Higgins, Waddle, CMC, Barkley, DPJ for the flex over Rashad Fryermuth, Justin Tucker, and Washington D.
You would do that. I would put Rashad in over DPJ, but that's your call.
Yep.
And then other team: Hurts, Diggs, Kirk, Aaron Jones, Pacheco. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, very good teams.
Devontae Smith's in a very, very favorable matchup tomorrow against the Tennessee Titans. So yeah, it looks good.
Anthony Ruffin, I want Moreau over
either one of those defenses.
Yeah, I want Moreau though. Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony Moreau.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that either or at the end of Tommy's question. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I guess you could go the Bucks, Tommy. I guess I would go the Bucks. The Eagles are a little leaky at stopping the run right now.
No, Gardner Johnson for at least the next 4 games.
Although Jordan Davis is back, but it is his first game back. Could be a difficult time trying to slow down Derrick Henry.
And there's another front 7 guy that's out, I believe, for the Eagles. Not that it matters. They just signed Sue and
I'm not sure, but I know that Jordan Davis has been activated.
Yeah.
What that means for his status tomorrow is yet to be seen, but if he's active, I would probably just play the Bucks over the Eagles tomorrow. Not have to worry about Derrick Henry.
Yeah. And I'm going Moreau over Conklin in PPR in any format.
Yep.
Senor Rojo, good to see you. Have Hopkins on bye, need 2 in the flex. 12-team PPR, Pacheco, Bam Knight, Jordan Mason, DeAndre Carter,
First
Jameson
2.
Williams. First 2, yep.
First 2. Pacheco and Zonovan Knight. Yep. Easy call.
Yep. A bunch of J's.
What's happening, Jay?
Need 1 Evans, Swift, Olave, have PPR. If Lattimore plays, then Olave. If not,
then Olave.
Evans.
Yep, that's an easy call. I would wait on these 2 receivers. You have the benefit of them both being in the same game. Swift is interesting, but he's 3rd here. I don't know if he's going to crack 40% of the snaps.
Hasn't for the past 3 games.
He hasn't for the past 3 weeks. Yeah. If Marshawn Lattimore is active, keep your ear to the ground on that. Maybe I'll do a short on that on Monday, just as a reminder for anybody, or maybe I'll throw a short out tomorrow morning or tonight. I'll figure something out, just as a reminder. Be prepared to swerve off of Mike Evans if Marshawn Lattimore plays.
Yep.
If Marshawn Lattimore is active, play Olave. If he's out, play Evans.
Yep. Thank you very much for the question. Justine, two quarterback. I think it's fine playing Cousins. Cousins is still a low end wide QB1.
Pickett or Mike White.
They're high end QB2s for me.
But you gotta play one of them. 2 QB.
Oh, sorry. Okay, then Mike White.
Pickett's got the much better matchup, but
one of these quarterbacks has gone over 300 yards this year.
Mike White has played 1 game.
Still, he showed the upside for it.
I guess, but it was against the Bears. This is a different animal on the road against Minnesota. I just want to make sure we call that out. It's easy to feel good about a dude, and I don't want to take anything away from Mike White. It's easy to feel good about a dude who pops against the Bears at home. It's a slightly different story when you got to go on the road against a really good team in the Vikings.
My problem is that Pickett has never had a game where he had more than 1 touchdown combined on the ground or through the air.
I hear you.
And just because of that floor, I'd rather have a guy that has shown at least that he has the ceiling for more than that.
I mean, the matchups that he has gone up against this year, the Jets, the Bills, the Bucks, the Dolphins. That was like his 4th start. The Eagles, the Saints, the Bengals, the Colts, and a lot of these games were on the road. He has faced maybe the toughest slate of defenses like in that recent stretch collectively. I think I'm actually okay. Pickett, I think, is safe tomorrow in a spectacular matchup against Atlanta versus Mike White. You did it once. Show me you can do it again under more difficult circumstances. I think I take Pickett here.
And I take Mike White just because I think he has a lot more upside for you on Sunday. But
I think we'll
see.
Really rooting against Zach Wilson to get his job back.
Well, I mean that too, but it's not a 1-year sample size. We saw him last year have a 400-yard 3-touchdown game, and this year he has a 300-yard 3-touchdown game, and that's not something that we can say that Pickett has had all season. Yes, he has 1 300-yard game, but only 1 touchdown in that game. Yes, it was against Buffalo, tough defense, but still.
Yeah. I think I would roll the dice because of the matchup. I would go Pickett. We're split
there.
Well.
Yep.
Hopefully the dialogue helps or the discourse helps make a decision.
Ignatius, good to see you. Start 1, Jamar, Damian Pierce, or Pollard. Jamar.
Jamar, if he's in. Pollard, if Jamar is a surprise inactive. I don't.
The answer is Jamar to all your Jamar questions.
Yeah, I don't love playing dudes their first game back. Jamar Chase is an exception. If that guy is in, he's in your lineup.
Yep. Patrick Haas, good to see you.
Yeah. Pollard if Jamar Chase sits.
And what's Christian Vasquez, thank you very much for the super. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Christian. Appreciate that. I think we were just about to get to this, but appreciate it.
Pittman, Evans, Brian Robinson, Jamal, or Gus Edwards need to play 3. Pittman.
Full PPR.
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams for sure. He has to be in. He's an RB1 on the season, and it's a good matchup at home, just in general at home. You got to play Jamal Williams at this point.
I'm playing Pittman just on off rip, Jamal Williams off rip, and then Evans tentatively. If we hear any good news on Lattimore in terms of that he's healthy, Then downgrade Evans, and I'd be fine putting in Brian Robinson, especially if Antonio Gibson is playing.
But with Evans, we have to wait till Monday night.
Yeah, that is true.
So here's what I think I would do, Christian. And again,
Pittman,
some
Jamal,
of this
Brian Robinson. If there's no Antonio Gibson.
If there's no Gibson, I would go Jamal Williams, Brian Robinson, and I would just play it safe and play Michael Pittman. If Gibson is active, I'll play Williams, Pittman, and then I will roll the dice on Evans.
Yep.
But if Gibson is out tomorrow, Christian, so obviously keep an eye on that. We'll know injury reports as soon as 11:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
Jamal Williams. If Gibson is in, Pittman and Evans. If Gibson is ruled out, Brian Robinson, Jamal Williams, Michael Pittman, and I will roll the dice on benching Mike Evans in a matchup that has historically plagued him.
And I'm definitely going Adam Thielen over Boyd.
This is another league, or just another situation. Yeah, Thielen over Boyd. Boyd's volatility is going to be higher now. Did I say that right? He's going to be more volatile with Jamar Chase back in the fold. Adam Thielen is a clear-cut starter for the Vikings. And at home, I feel better about a guy like him at home.
Yep. Who has shown upside despite the team getting more of a target hog at tight end.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried. I'm rolling with Thielen.
Yeah, scored a touchdown on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I feel good about Thielen at home. On 10 days rest, by the way. If you like those types of things.
And yeah, Christian, thank you very much for the super.
Yeah, appreciate that. Not necessary, but very much appreciated.
And Patrick, congratulations on being playoff bound. Hope everybody in here is.
There you go. That's the plan. Get everybody into the playoffs, or at least help.
Mark Fantasy, should I trade Jamal Williams for Samaje Perine?
You have Mixon.
Yes.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, Mark. Which receiver are you taking out of your lineup to play Jamison Williams? So yes.
And head injuries are weird. He could just be back next week, but he could, they could have to hold him out because he doesn't progress through the concussion protocol as quickly. We don't know.
Right.
So I don't want to play those games with a head injury. I'm willing to just get rid of somebody who is probably my wide receiver 6 or 5 or something like that at this point in the season for a handcuff running back.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep. Solid bet. Go for it. Joe fell on pick 1. Herbert or Fields or Lawrence on the wire?
Fields. I mean, I'm going all upside here.
Yep.
I'm going all upside. Herbert's been a low-end QB1. Fields has overall QB1 upside.
Has Herbert rebounded at all lately?
Yeah, he had a good game. I think he had a solid game. Was it last week?
Yeah, QB3. QB11 the week before against KC.
And it's a great matchup.
And he still doesn't have all of his weapons back, and we expect that by, week 14, week 15.
You can't go wrong between Herbert and Fields.
For this week, I think Fields.
And guess what? Green Bay is getting absolutely gashed on the ground. Fields could just be a running back tomorrow.
Yeah.
We could. I think I would just. It's a tougher matchup by the numbers, but obviously
want to
that
protect him
in.
a little bit more. They might not want to rush him a little bit more in his first game back, coming back from a shoulder injury.
They'll just tell him to run out of bounds. They'll just tell him to run out of bounds, or slide at the first sign of troubles. Just slide.
Don't be Josh Allen. Xavier Dubs, what's bracking? And what's up? What's up, Mike?
What's happening, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Good to see y'all.
5th and the 6th pick thing with J-Rob. What do you mean?
You mean like the picks that they traded to get him? Is that what you mean?
But I'm playing Knight in the flex. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But I don't know about the 5th and the 6th pick thing. Is there a So they're gonna try to sit James Robinson so they don't have to give up a 5th rounder. They have to give up a 6th.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what it is.
That makes sense. Play Bam Knight.
They're limiting his snaps.
Thanks for putting us onto that. I was not tuned into that.
That's right.
Respect.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're limiting his snaps so that they don't have to give up the 5th rounder. Yeah.
Respect.
I guess.
No, I mean respect to Xavier for bringing that to our attention.
Oh, to Xavier. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No respect to the Jets.
No.
They have zero respect.
No.
I don't have any respect for them for doing that, but I understand why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, respect to Xavier. Thank you for that
good looks.
Spin on it. Yeah.
Good looks.
Patrick having a hard time with Njoku out, need a tight end. You're leading now.
Oh, right, that small pot. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Like, did you? Who's? Okay.
Moreau, Dulcich. I mean, I want Moreau.
Yeah, but like, I guess who do you drop is the question. I mean, you could go Harrison Bryant if I'm just reading down to some of your follow-ups. If you could, but I would personally go Moreau. There's touchdown upside. It's a good matchup.
Yeah.
Scored last week. I would go Moreau. And yeah, go for those points.
Do it. Yeah.
If I know I have a realistic shot, if I know I have a realistic shot at winning 150 extra bucks, I want that money.
Yeah. Do it. Go for the ceiling shot. Yep.
Hell yeah.
And Xavier Dobbs also Bass or Gano rest of season. There you go. Question for you.
By default, I mean, Gano, I feel like I prefer at this point. You know, there's two schools of thought, right? Do I want the dude attached to the much better offense, but that could also translate to just kicking more extra points instead of field goals because the Bills are able to convert more of their drives into touchdowns. But they're in score that, you know, they have plenty of scoring opportunities. Bass is maybe safe in that regard, but maybe his ceilings are a little bit more few and far between. Or do I want the guy attached to the offense that should be good enough to get it into scoring range, but is more likely than not, or more often than not, you know, than an offense like the Bills, more than likely to stall out and have field goal opportunities a little bit more frequently. So I guess Gano is kind of a little bit more your upside play, but he's volatile because if the Giants have a game where they can't get anything going on offense, you're looking at like 3 points. Like you're looking at a potential 3-point floor. That hasn't been an issue for them so far. And as long as you have Saquon Barkley, you're going to have at the very least moderate success moving the ball. So if you want to take the shot on what I think is a little bit more of the upside guy here in Gano, I'm fine with that. Bass has upside, but his ceiling is capped because the Bills go for it on 4th down and they convert way more scoring opportunities into touchdowns instead of settling for field goals. What did Bass kick? 1 field goal on Thursday night?
Yeah, but I do want to push back a little bit on that because the Bills haven't been the same since coming out of the bye. The Bills were full systems go in the first 5 or 6 games of the year. I forget when their bye was, but after their bye, Josh Allen just hasn't been striking as much in the red zone, which has been leading to more field goals. There's a 23-point game in there for Bass. There's a 13-point game in the last 2 weeks, 9-point game in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, if 7 points is your kicker's floor and 23 points is your kicker's ceiling, and you got a 13-point week in there, I think I'm rolling with Tyler Bass the rest of the way, considering the team does lean on Bass's leg when the offense is sputtering a little bit, and the offense is sputtering a little bit. Has been for weeks.
Yeah, they're sputtering a little bit.
But I'm willing to go. I'm not the kicker whisperer, but if I'm willing to just say Bass. I like Gano, but I'm willing to just say Bass.
Yeah, you can just go Bass. He's probably safer attached to the better offense.
Yeah. And D. Linney, with respect to what Xavier just said, I think there's a true narrative there. So I think Robinson being a squeaky wheel doesn't concern me. I think they try to sit him if they can.
I mean, they're also going to do what's
best for the team,
working for them as a team that is winning.
Right.
Now Robinson can catch passes, and that's probably going to be needed. Again, we have to remember they're not playing the Bears at home in the rain. They're playing the Vikings on the road in the Dome. The pass catch it, like Ty, I think tomorrow tomorrow the moonshot play, and maybe if you play DFS, that play is Ty Johnson, I think. Knight might have
five for 60 something and a touchdown, didn't he get last week?
And he maybe doesn't deliver on something. He doesn't maybe deliver that, but like I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the field in more passing down situations tomorrow because of the situation the Jets find themselves in. On the road, against a good team, against a good offense. It could be a floor game for Zonovan Knight. I think I'm firing him up over the likes of, if it's like either him or say like Samaje Perine with a healthy Joe Mixon, then I'll roll the dice on Zonovan Knight because at least I'm pretty sure he's going to start.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair to bring that up. Robinson might see a little bit more work tomorrow because, well, they need guys who can catch the ball out there a little bit more frequently tomorrow, most likely.
And we got a bunch of questions in the chat here, so I think we got to start picking up the speed a little bit here with which we're answering these questions.
Okay.
But I
appreciate everybody's patience.
Yep. Thank you very much.
We will get to everybody. We just ask that you please don't double post anything. We promise we'll get to everything. But all right, let's do that. Iron said as the third guy, Gibson if he's healthy, and then Slayton if he's not, just because Slayton. I don't like that. I don't like that matchup against the 49ers.
Yep, agreed.
All right, where are we at? We got to. I think Patrick. I think we got to your question. Your like tight end dilemma. Let us know if you need any more.
Yep.
Slayton out.
Rick James was play with a Slayton. Is Slayton out? Have we been recommending Slayton this whole time, and Slayton's been out?
He's questionable with an illness. Okay, he's questionable with an illness. He's sick. This might be COVID.
Yeah, I wonder if that's how teams have been handling it thus far.
Yeah, all right. I guess keep an eye on it. They have been designating things as like non-COVID illnesses. This is not that designation, and he's been out all week. So this could be COVID. Yeah, I guess tread lightly with a guy like Darius Slayton. It's possible his conditioning took a hit if he has COVID. We don't know if he does. I'm not reporting that he does, but they usually designate non-COVID illness. It just says illness for Darius Slayton, and he hasn't practiced.
Yep.
Do with that what you will. But good to know, D-Lin. Appreciate it. What was the situation for Joker? Oh, you already played Montgomery, or you already played Ramondre. Got it. So what is it? You have to pick.
It was Montgomery or Williams.
I would go Jamal. I would personally go Jamal against Jacksonville. Yeah, I would. I mean, Montgomery's in a spectacular matchup against the Packers, but Jamal Williams is
with no Darnell Mooney, no Khalil Herbert, might have to pick up a little bit more just the work in the offense on the receiving end too. I think it's personal
preference, honestly.
It is.
You should be fine with either one. I think we're split though, Joker.
Yep.
I'm fine with Montgomery too. I would play Jamal Williams. I think John is like the exact opposite. Like, either one should be fine. We just have differences on who we prefer between the two, but both are good plays.
And Zonovan I think he has RB2 upside, and he's an RB3. I don't even know if he's a solid flex. I think he's a high-end RB3 with RB2 upside.
Yeah, he's a high-end RB3.
And Christian, is this an extension of your past question?
He sent it as a super later on, which thank you again. Appreciate it.
Yep.
We got
yeah, and that
to
was
the
Jameson Williams' word.
Yeah, we got to it was the I think it was the first two names.
Yep. Corey Jones, you're very welcome. And yeah, Delaney, good to know. Good to know. Wasn't tuned into that.
So Richie James is interesting. Yep.
Sad J, you disrespected the Kings and started punk ass Ramondre and Standard on Thursday.
Bro,
that wasn't.
Yeah. I think I did say
I like Ramondre with the prospect of Ramondre with no Damian Harris was solid.
I remember. It was a comment on a video, and I think I said Taylor, Jamal Williams, and I think Aaron Jones. And I guess you played Ramondre over one of those two or one of those three. So for me, it's got to be Taylor, and I would go. I love Aaron Jones. I would just go Taylor and Aaron Jones. You have ETN as well. I mean, Taylor for sure, and then honestly, pick your favorite. For me, it would be Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones might not be your favorite if you're a Bears fan, so maybe you go ETN. But I would go Aaron Jones. Taylor has to be in. Has to be in.
And yeah, a little tougher matchup for Walker this week.
Aaron Donald's out, but even still, it is still a tough matchup by the numbers. So yeah, I would. If you have star options, then I would pivot off of Walker.
Yeah.
I guess I prefer ETN.
Pacheco or Zeke? Pacheco, Mike.
Oh man, wow. Yeah, I guess against the Kansas City or against the Cincinnati Bengals could be a shoot. Yeah, sure. Pacheco's the upside play. Zeke is the boring floor play. But Zeke should be fine at home. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys are at home. Anytime the Cowboys are at home, Zeke is a safe play. But if you want some extra upside, Pacheco.
Yep. And start 2 in standard. Yeah, we got to that one.
Got that one for Sad J. Yep.
And Robert Quinn was the other Eagle that was out. Yeah, it was.
Okay, he hasn't done anything. No disrespect, he hasn't done anything since the Eagles traded for him. So,
that defense is such a strong rotation.
It's pretty good.
You got it was Sue and Linval Joseph, right? You got
that they signed off the street. Added to Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham and Jordan Davis is back. Yeah, it's a good group.
And Robert Quinn, just the fact that he's in there is.
He's just there. He's just there hanging out.
Yep. Yeah. Pacheco or Knight in the flex this week?
Pacheco.
Ooh. But I like the fact that it's close.
For me, it's not because of the matchup that Zonovan Knight potentially gets phased out of. Potentially. I'll take Pacheco, Xavier.
I'll take Pacheco, but it is close to me. Bub the GOAT.
What's up,
Justin
Bub?
Fields or Dak Prescott this week? Go Fields, man.
Fields, baby. Go all upside.
Yeah.
Packers can't stop anything as far as anything resembling a run game right now.
Dak has been very good.
He's been he's been pretty good. It's a little tougher matchup going up against the Colts.
QB4, QB7, QB9 before having a QB17 week last week. Tough matchup, but yeah, Fields. Because he has QB2,
I want the
QB2,
upside.
QB1 upside. Yeah.
Yeah, I want that.
He has that stretch this year. Crazy.
I'll take a shot on that.
Yeah. Elout, what's up?
What's happening, Elout?
Who do I play at 2 RB spots? Got Mixon, Perrine, Swift, White, or Bam, Knight.
Mixon if he goes, Perrine if he doesn't.
Yep.
And
easy.
I would go
White.
Rashad White.
Yep.
Yeah, I would go Rashad White in any scoring format, and it's fine to keep Christian Watson in there over those other options.
Yep.
That's all. Yep, that's it. Mixon if he goes, Perrine if he doesn't, and then Rashad White.
And ML rest of season PPR better stash moonshot.
Only care about upside moonshots. Then I guess
Coleman.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like a great moonshot. Is there a better moonshot that you can pick up?
I guess if just among these options, Coleman, I guess, is the veteran who can catch some passes, I guess.
Speedier guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite of the coaching staff. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was the RB9 at 1 week in week 5 this season, so was a weak for running backs, honestly, but still.
What a weird year.
Two touchdown day that day.
you go.
Yeah, Coleman. Cruz Garcia. Yep.
Same
Fields.
issue. I mean, yeah, I would just go unless you're super safe and your team is loaded at every other position and you can get away with like the safe play in Dak, but like I would need studs everywhere for me to even do that. And then even if I still have that, it's like why don't I just swing for the fences and go for Fields.
And Brett, better late than never. Thanks for joining us. Pick
Yes,
one
sir.
for the flex. I think I'm going Brandon Ayuk, man.
Ayuk with Debo hobbling on the injury report and a true game time call. That's what he's being called right now, a game time decision.
Yep.
Ayuk, even if Debo's fine, like honestly, Ayuk's been awesome this year.
Yes,
Rock
he has.
solid.
Yep.
Rock solid.
And D. Linney with the stats. Good. Thanks for throwing the stats in there as always.
And they should beat the Jets.
Yes.
At home.
And yeah, Justine, hopefully we us discussing helped you figure it out. As always.
Yeah,
Cruz,
glad you enjoyed the conversation. That's what we try to do. It's like it's not groupthink over here necessarily, but just an opportunity to create good dialogue to have people thinking about what they want to do.
Yep.
So yeah.
And Cruz, yeah, exactly. But the higher ceiling has me just going Fields because we don't predict injuries over here.
He's full participant and I hear obviously just coming off of injury. Yeah, you're a little bit more concerned for re-injury, but full practice off the injury report before Saturday. The vibes are good, which is great because that wasn't too long ago. We were like, are they going to shut him down for the year? And the fact that he's off the injury report more than 24 hours before the game. I think they took him off the injury report yesterday. Good vibes. Good vibes for Justin Fields.
Now, between Josh Palmer and Zay Jones has 14 target week in the past few weeks. Joshua Palmer, yes, he still has a high target ceiling. 10 targets twice in the last 4 weeks. 12 targets 5 weeks ago. But that was without Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Now that Keenan Allen has been back in the past 3 weeks, 2 games of 8 targets and 7 targets. Not bad, but I think I'm going Zay Jones.
My only concern here is Zay Jones is on the injury report with a chest injury, and Palmer doesn't have an injury designation with no Mike Williams.
So if Zay Jones plays, if he doesn't, Palmer.
Yeah, I might just play Palmer because Zay Jones is banged up.
Fair.
I might because Zay Jones is on there. If he wasn't
coming off
on
a 27-point week, like I gotta go where if he is playing, I'm playing Zay because it isn't just 1 week; it's 2, 10 targets the week before. But if he isn't playing, then Josh Palmer and I solid swerve this week.
That UCF receiver just made a spectacular. I think it's a catch. I'm watching this is I think the ACC championship game. That's a catch, sir. That's a spectacular diving catch. Is that Baker for UCF? Hell of a catch. Sorry. College championship week, you guys got to be watching. We got to talk about our prospects soon for the 2023 draft for those who are going to stick around with us after the season for Dynasty.
Yes, sir. Should be a good year for it.
Yep.
Senior Rojo.
You want to take this one?
I do think the usage will continue. I do.
Yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't.
Now, they did kind of just the whole offense. They tried different things last week because they felt that they could take the pedal off, the pressure off on the pedal off. Because honestly, they didn't think much of the Patriots, and then look how the game went. You could tell with the way that they were playing. Josh wasn't throwing as much. A lot more rushes. Singletary got his. You saw the usage for Joshua or for James Cook. Do I think it will continue? The usage rate, yes. The usage pure rushing numbers, no. The targets, hopefully. But again, why did they bring on Hines? To have him be your primary punt returner? That at some point, I think they're going to try to unlock Hines as well. So, and that will impact Cook. But, I mean, second round draft pick. late season usage. You like to see it. So I definitely want him on my bench. I'm not dropping him for anything. But do I think the usage, the pure usage continues? No, the usage rate, I think it might.
There you go.
Christian Watson.
From our Bills insider, personally.
There you go. And Christian, thank you again for the super. And
yeah, thanks, Christian.
Glad we could help.
Yep.
And Joe, absolutely Jamal Williams.
Yeah. If that's Jamal Williams, Jamal Williams. If that's Jamison Williams, then Pacheco. But I think it's Jamal Williams.
And TX416, it's it's Watson over Cousins for me. It's Fields over Watson for me. And then it's Schultz or Pat Freiermuth. That's legit tough, but I think it's Schultz over Pat Freiermuth.
I'll take Schultz at home over Pat Freiermuth. I would go Fields. I'm call me a wussy or whatever you want to say. I'm erring on the side of caution with Deshaun Watson tomorrow. I'll go with the dudes who have more recently played football. That's literally all it comes down to. Obviously, we all know who is the most talented player of this bunch. But I'm erring on the side of caution tomorrow with Deshaun Watson. I would personally go Fields, then Cousins, then Watson. If he pops, then fuck me, right? But in first game back in 2 years, I would play Fields first, and then Cousins.
And yeah, Schultz over Pat Freiermuth had a ceiling week last week. I don't think there's any reason to believe it won't continue.
Nope.
Might not get 19 points again and have PPR, but still solid.
He can get you 12.
Schultz, yep. And Elout, hope so. Let's get this dub this week. That goes for everybody, not just Elout. Let's get those wins. Eat those dubs going. Like Jameis.
D-Linny, you and I are on the same page about the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I guess my risk tolerance is a little bit higher in terms
That's fine.
of in
terms of this specific scenario.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
With those three. All are solid bets. Fields number one for sure. Greg Z, need 2 wide receivers in my 3 wide receiver league. Palmer, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Sutton. Palmer and Wilson.
They're the upside plays. I mean, Sutton does have a good matchup against Baltimore.
Yeah. Sutton just seems like 7 for 70 every week, and that's all you're going to get.
Right. Sutton is a good floor play. Wilson, I think, has a worse floor. Sutton, I would think, has the best floor. Drake London's not in the conversation here. I know the matchup is great, but you just can't trust that Falcons offense. Sutton is the floor here if you think you can get away with a 10-point week, a 12, 13-point week, maybe a 15-point week in full PPR. Palmer and Wilson are a little bit more upside, swing for the fences.
I think Garrett Wilson, coming off the wide receiver 2 week, I'm going back to him. Is he scoring 2 touchdowns every week? Nah, but I'm going back to him. I don't think he's unsafe. I don't. Yeah, very Wilson cool with playing Wilson and Palmer.
Wilson and Sutton, if you think you can play it safe. Wilson and Palmer, if you think you need some upside.
There you go.
Van Jefferson would be 4th for me there.
Yep, but props on him for getting a touchdown last week. Kilo, what's happening?
He did get a touchdown, but yeah.
Hey, congrats on getting Lamar. That's wild, Bilo.
Oh, I remember talking through that. I remember talking about that with you in the Discord. Yeah, that was you made some money moves. It was nice to see. Nicely done.
Yeah, good shit. Senior Rojo, cut OBJ.
I was gonna say Trey McBride, but
well, Trey McBride at least has a role rest of season. He does. Yeah,
Beckham is not gonna be. Beckham is a sign for the NFL playoffs at this point,
not the fantasy playoffs. Yeah, and that's really a big if too, because how acclimated is he even gonna be? I really think he's a moonshot for the last 2 games of the playoffs for a contender. Yeah, so just cut OBJ for Jameson.
All right, that's fine.
So at least the other guys are playing. There's a chance Mike Williams just gets shut down. We don't know what's going
on. And Justine, I would not drop Pirine if I have Mixon. If you're headed toward the playoffs, protect your investment.
Yeah, I want Perine if I have Mixon.
Yeah, keep the
backup. That goes
backup.
for all handcuffs for your number 1.
Yep, keep the backup to your starter. Especially with a head injury in a situation where Mixon hasn't yet cleared concussion protocol.
And Xavier got Saquon too. Respect.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Shane Howard, PPR. Which wide receiver would you start? And tight end, Christian Watson, DK, Mark Andrews, or Kittle? DK and Andrews.
Dude, you have Mark Andrews and George Kittle. Yeah, I guess Andrews. It's a tougher matchup, but Andrews,
where you can't go wrong with either, but DK and Andrews.
Kittle had a blow up a couple weeks ago against Arizona, but 2 of his past 3 games have been clunkers.
And Andrews had a bad week last week. Could go back
Andrews
in his favor.
Dropped a touchdown. It's not something you expect from Mark Andrews.
Nope.
And I think they're at home. Pretty sure Baltimore's at home tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they're at home tomorrow. So just naturally, I feel better about anybody when it comes to playing at home.
And yeah, D. Lenny, thanks for always helping out in the chat. Love to see it.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And Patrick, Mixon, and Najee both set to start.
Najee is. Mixon isn't. Mixon hasn't cleared concussion protocol yet.
Yep. Still wait and see with him.
If he doesn't clear it by tomorrow, he's out.
Need 2 of these 6, Adam. Damian Pierce, Zeke, Rashad White, Latavius, Dylan, and Samaje. Samaje, if there's no Mixon.
Right. If Mixon goes, I would play Rashad and
White
Zeke.
And Latavius just because he's a safe.
I would play Zeke at home.
Would you?
Yeah.
I guess he has much higher upside, so yeah.
Wasn't Latavius on the Ravens last year? Guess it is a revenge game.
yeah, he was.
It's a brutal matchup by the numbers, though, and it's on the road.
Yeah,
I would play Zeke at home.
Had a good game last week.
Adam, I would Rashad White and Zeke. If Mixon is out, Samaje over Zeke.
Yeah.
I want to play Rashad. Even with Leonard Fournette back in the mix, I want to play Rashad White in full PPR.
Sure. Yep. Our gravy. PPR, Swift, Brian Robinson, Jameson Williams. Brian Robinson. And then Pickens, Murray, or Knight.
Even if Gibson is active, I think I'm okay with Robinson over Swift.
Which Murray?
Pickens, Murray, or Knight. Is it Latavius?
Might be. Yeah.
That'd be Latavius. I would play Pickens.
Yes.
In a great matchup. Falcons are getting scorched by opposing wide receivers.
And trade deadline Hurts and Higgins for Lamar. I like the late trade deadline. Respect.
Yeah.
Hurts and Higgins for Lamar and Hill.
And Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
upgrade at wide receiver and your quarterback. It's pretty static, to be honest. Slight downgrade, but pretty static, to be honest.
I think I would. In a vacuum, I do think I would prefer to have Hurts at this point, but I would. I don't know if I would absolutely prefer to have Lamar over Hurts.
Honestly, there's a world in which you win on both counts, and at worst, you're getting a better wide receiver for a slightly worse quarterback. But there is a world in which Lamar Jackson just balls out over the rest of the season because he can do that. We've seen stretches of elite performances from him. So he could. It's not without the realm of possibility. I like this deal. Go for it.
Lamar's schedule is better than Hurts's for the fantasy playoffs.
Do it.
He gets to play Pittsburgh twice.
The fact that you can upgrade from Higgins to Hill, I'm cool. Do it.
At home against Atlanta. Yeah. Hill and Higgins are negligible for me. Either one could pop. Either one probably will pop any given week.
Hill and Higgins is not negligible for me. Like they're both wide receiver ones, but Hill right now he's performing like the overall wide receiver one.
Yeah. Yeah, do it, Za.
Yeah.
Yeah, send that thing through. Make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, he might be my wide receiver 1 this week.
There you go. And Lamar's got a tough matchup by the numbers this week against Denver, but it is a beautiful playoff schedule for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, do the trade.
Solid rest of wide receiver core with Lockett and DJ Moore. With the how DJ Moore ceiling has been upgraded in recent weeks, so solid.
Yeah.
Why so high on Pacheco? I mean, look what he's done in the last few weeks. He is the RB1 for one of the best teams in the league.
I mean, for the past 2 weeks, I'll tell you right now, Xavier, for the past 2 weeks, let's work our way from the beginning, week 10 against Jacksonville. He fumbled, I think the first or second touch. Finished with 16 carries for 82 yards. They stuck with him. The very next week, 15 carries, 107 yards. Then last week, 22 carries, got volume. 69 very nice yards, scored a touchdown. Doesn't contribute much in the passing game. This is true, but he did catch a 17-yard pass last week. In this game, which is probably, I without looking at it, I have to imagine Bengals-Chiefs is the highest over-under, like highest expected point total of the week this week with these two teams, with these two offenses. I want pieces up and down the lineup on both sides. And yeah, like John said, that includes the starting running back for the Chiefs.
And yeah, I mean,
that's why I want Pacheco.
Look at in games where he has had volume this season. Week 1, RB21, 5.17 yards per carry, scored a touchdown. In week 4, 11 rushes, 5.7 yards per carry. In week 8, 5.3 yards per carry. In week 10, 5.13 yards per carry. In week 12, 7.13 yards per carry. Dude's mad efficient. Last week's bad efficiency week with the 3.14 yards per carry average is bad. But the fact that he can get a ceiling of 22 carries with his overall efficiency metrics that he's shown all season and something that he should positively regress back to, I like him a lot, man. If there's a running back that has 150-yard upside, it is him with the usage that he's getting.
Yup. Yeah.
So Melvin Gordon, that answers your question.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon was going to comment on your question, but he fumbled the comment.
Huh. Boom.
Got him. Okay, those are your running backs, so you're perfectly fine there. Yeah, go get Lamar and Tyreek Hill and go.
Yeah, do it.
Win the freaking leagues. Also, are you in Philly? 215.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah, there you go.
D. Linney, Jameson Williams will make his debut Sunday. Yes.
We're excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah,
very excited to see him.
We'll see. See what he can do out the gate. Yeah, and Dynasty League season, as soon as the season ends, man, Mike, you already know.
Yep. Guess we might as well let people, if anybody who hasn't followed us during or started following us during the season, we go nowhere just when the season ends. There will be plenty of Dynasty live streams throughout the offseason, help you get your football fix, hopefully. So be sure to not go too far away. I think we do like a Tuesday, Thursday stream schedule in the offseason, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll be around if anybody else wants to keep the conversation going once the season ends, but we're not quite there yet.
Absolutely. And D. Linney again with the stats, man. You're automatic. Love to see it. Michael Bernardo, non-PPR start Michael? 1. Jeff Wilson, Rashad White, or Pacheco. Pacheco, man. And Keenan Allen over all of them. Keenan Allen over all of them. But then Pacheco for me.
Yeah.
Non-PPR.
Well, it is standard.
I'd still go Keenan Allen.
Then Pacheco. Then Rashad White.
Yep.
It's close for me between Pacheco and Rashad White, but I guess Pacheco
gets the edge. And I mean non-PPR, yeah.
Standard with Leonard Fournette back, yeah, that's fine.
And yeah, to me, Garrett Wilson is a must-start if you have him. And your lineup isn't crazy. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's not Keenan Allen wide receiver 3 status, then Garrett Wilson.
Something nuts like that, yeah.
Claypool, Slayton, or London rest of season. Slayton and then Claypool, honestly. because he's the wide receiver 1 there, and then London.
Yeah, I guess
Slayton far away.
Slayton first.
Yeah.
Obviously, keep an eye on him this week. It's possible he misses with an illness, in which case Claypool would be the number 1 guy this week. But yeah, rest of the season, Slayton.
And what's Jordan Mason's snap counts over the last?
I can help with that.
12 and 13. And Coleman, did Coleman just get traded? Is there any sample size with Coleman?
He's been up and down off the practice squad. Like they sign him and then they send him back down, and then they sign him and then they send him back down.
So I mean, yeah, the guy that's been getting work technically is Mason.
More recently,
yeah,
it's Mason, but I don't know that necessarily stays the same. Is Tyrion Davis-Price like he hasn't taken a snap since week 7? What is his like
status? Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, he's not on the injury report, so he could reemerge. It's a tough call, Xavier. It's gonna. I guess the guy who most reflects or most matches his skill set, I guess, is Coleman. If McCaffrey misses time, something tells me. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens this week. But or in the scenario where McCaffrey has to miss, it is going to be really difficult to predict which running back is worth taking the shot on. It's gonna be probably a different guy for every week that McCaffrey misses based on matchups and all that stuff.
But I mean, you're not betting on. I would just go a Mason because he's gotten the work recently. He's been the number 3 with Elijah Mitchell. Should be the number 2, and then Coleman or whoever, or TDP or whoever else is behind him should be the 3.
Yeah,
so just Mason, but I'm not expecting much, and it's just purely a handcuff.
Yeah.
D. Lenny, yeah, I mean, thanks for helping out with that again. Automatic, Love to see it. Tim Shields, what's happening?
What's up, Tim?
Antonio, I would go Christian Watson in PPR.
White floor, Watson ceiling.
In PPR, I'm just going with the wide receiver off rip.
I don't hate Rachaad White there, but Watson's fine if you need the upside play.
Brett, is J.K. Dobbins back and on the RB1 and the RB1 in Baltimore? Can't say until we see it.
They opened his practice window.
Can't say anything on him.
He's not playing tomorrow. He's not playing tomorrow. And when he's activated, that backfield becomes a complete like I'm avoiding it at all costs.
Yeah. And D. Lenny, yeah, that's where I'm at with Christian Watson too. Hard to sit, so I'm
it is hard to sit.
Start him.
I do like Rachaad White, but yeah.
Kilo, running back, wide receiver, flex, and then non-running back flex. Choose from the following. You're starting Justin Jefferson.
Starting Higgins.
You're starting Higgins, and between Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Pickens, with no Juwan Johnson, who's been their touchdown guy, considering Olave's usage, I think I go Olave. And then
I would play
running back.
I would play those. Is it 3? Is it you can play 4 receivers? Is that this?
You can play 4 receivers. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm playing those first four receivers.
And
Jefferson,
I'm playing
Higgins,
the first
Wilson,
2 running
Olave.
backs.
No, I'm not playing Swift. I'm playing ETN and Jamal Williams.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see Swift as the first because Pickens and Swift were connected. My bad. ETN and Jamal Williams is who I meant. But
yeah, I'm playing ETN and Jamal Williams as the running backs, and then I'm playing those first 4 receivers. I love Pickens. I don't know if I can play him over those guys though.
No, the other guys have much higher target. Capability.
Yeah.
Potential. Yeah.
It is a great matchup for Pickens though.
Must-win game. Hope you win it, man. Solid lineup you got there.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you almost can't start a Baltimore.
No, not when. Yeah, you almost. Well, you could start Gus Edwards, but once Dobbins is back, it's like blah.
Yeah, even Gus Edwards. I mean, the fact that Lamar runs the ball and you got Kenyon Drake there, it's all. Yeah. Patrick got Hollywood Mike Williams, who's not playing.
A bunch of dudes who aren't playing.
Yeah. Got you.
Who are you moving off of to grab Moreau?
Dobbins or Jalen Warren.
Warren's
banged up. Still,
Dobbins is supposed to come back next week.
I guess I would rather have Dobbins' potential just because you probably held on to him or you just picked him up, and his ceiling is higher than Jalen Warren's. Jalen Warren requires an injury. J.K. Dobbins should be the starter when everybody's healthy.
And even then, he requires an injury.
Yeah,
it's either Warren or Dobbins.
I'm dropping Warren.
That's fine.
And then I'm swerving right off of that, and you know, in a couple of weeks, if Jalen Warren is still there, I'm, you know, swerving if I have a better tight end to go back to.
Yeah.
Tim Shields, Christian Watson, or Garrett Wilson at the flex. Christian Watson's safer to me, but I want to play Garrett Wilson too. But I think Christian Watson's just safer. And then Wilson,
yeah, sure.
Wilson over Warren and McKinnon.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Watson,
Browns
Wilson,
defense
and then
or
the
Jets?
Browns over the Jets. Play the Browns against the Texans.
Yeah. Wilson revenge game. D-Lenny, true.
There you go.
Senior Rojo was thinking DeAndre Carter over Treylon Burks. I would go Treylon Burks over DeAndre Carter. I know DeAndre Carter had a good week last week, but I think that goes back in either Everett or Palmer's way, who both didn't have good games last week. So I think it goes back.
Burks did have a weird game. You know, he recovered a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. So that was a little fluky, that touchdown that he scored. But against the Eagles on the road, I mean, the game script is in favor of the offense. So, or throwing the ball, I should say. I would go Burks.
His usage continues to go up. Last 3 weeks, 56, 50, now then 67 in week 12. Should be up and near the 70% snap borderline, and I think he's a good bet for anywhere from 7 to 8 targets, and I like that. I got 100-yard upside. We've seen it in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
he's the target hog in that offense. I like it.
Yep.
Already playing in Keenan and Lamb. Yeah, then diversify the offense. If I'm playing Keenan, I'm not playing Carter too.
Yeah, grab Burke play Burks. Yep, I agree. That's fine.
And do I have to choose between Jameson Williams and Deontay in PPR? Ugh.
How far has Deontay fallen?
Hey, if you need
upside,
a ceiling,
I guess.
Go Jameson Williams. If you're fine with 6 points, go Deontay in PPR.
Yeah, I mean he might get you 8, but he might get you 8.
The fact that we're talking about Deontay Johnson like that,
let's give a little bit of credit. He might get you 4 for 40.
The fact that we're there with Deontay Johnson in 2023.
He might give you a tight end stream play.
Yeah,
maybe. No, if you can get away with, I gotta think you can get 8 to 10 half or full PPR points. If you can stomach potentially only getting 2, but want to take the moonshot, then screw it. Play Jameson Williams if you need the moonshot. That being said, it's a really tough draw. It's a really tough sell. First game back from a torn ACL, and it's going to be his first career game.
But I mean, like Deshaun Jackson last week, 14% snap share, 3 targets, 2 receptions. One of them was a long bomb, and it ended up with 74 yards. That can happen with Jameson Williams. He's that type of player. Even if they only play him for 14 snaps, 14% of snaps, 20% of snaps, he can still pop off for you. So that's why, like, Deontay virtually has no. Yes, he dropped a TD last week, so technically he does have touchdown upside, but he has no upside this year. I'm just going Jamal Williams. or Jameson Williams.
Jameson.
And Jamal Williams, Kirk, or Smith in the flex.
Dice.
Ooh.
What's the scoring, Sotober? If it's standard, Jamal Williams. If it's full PPR, Kirk. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm cool with that.
Is that Devontae Smith? Is there another Smith?
I think that's the only Smith.
Is it? Do we have one Smith for relevant?
One relevant one. Right?
I'm jogging my brain for another Smith. Yeah, I guess it is Devontae. I would go, well, and Devontae's got a beautiful matchup. The Titans are getting scorched through the air. That's a tough call. I need the scoring, Sotober.
PPR.
And what's your situation?
PPR.
Like, PPR?
You just
underdog, favorite? Like, do you need upside to win? Can you play it safe? If you can play it safe, Jamal Williams. If you need a PPR safe play, Christian Kirk. If you need the moonshot play, Devontae Smith. How about that?
I guess.
I think I would play Jamal Williams.
Kirk is technically moonshot too. So is Jamal Williams. They're all moonshot, but Jamal Williams gives you that floor. I think I would just play Jamal Williams.
I would just play the running back.
Yeah.
Play the running back. At home. Yeah.
Good to know, D. Lenny. Didn't know that. Yeah, and Tim, start Chase no matter what. No matter what. You have Chase, Diggs, Watson, and Garrett Wilson, 2 wide receivers and a flex. Then, yeah, you're sitting Wilson.
Well, Diggs already played.
Yeah, you're sitting Wilson.
Diggs already played, so I guess I'm sitting Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I'll play Chase and Watson.
But again, good position to have to be in. Kilo, a different situation. A.J. Brown, I'm on Ross St. Brown. You're playing Chase, you're playing A.J. Brown. And you're playing, I'm on Ross St. Brown. Stevenson already played.
And you're playing Ayuk in that 4th wide receiver tight end
Stevenson
spot.
already played, Kenneth Walker. And are you playing Ayuk over Jamal Williams? Slash Perrine if Mixon plays? Or doesn't play? I don't know if I am.
Yeah, I'll play. Yeah, all right, fine. I'll play Walker and Jamal Williams.
And if Mixon doesn't play, are you swapping Perrine in for Williams or not?
Oh, man. I'll sub him in for Walker.
There you go. I agree with that. But I'm playing A.J. Brown. I'm playing Chase.
Yeah.
And I'm playing Amon-Ra.
Yes.
But yeah, hey, D. Lenny, I'd rather a guy take one catch to the house and give me 10 points, 12 points off of that 64-yarder and a touchdown over Deontay, who will give you 6 to 8 points.
This is the best matchup he'll face all year, and the Falcons are very gettable through the air. I do think I would play Deontay over Jameson Williams this week. It's just torn ACL, coming back from a torn ACL, first game of his career. I do think I would play Deontay. At least you know he's going to play 90% of the snaps. Yeah, I would, and it's a great matchup.
I mean,
I would play Deontay. I would.
He's point total since week 4. 3,
I know,
8,
but it's
6, 7, 6, 8, 4, 7. Ugh.
I know it's bad, but this is a good matchup for once.
Yeah, I'm willing to go with the moonshot. Nick's cool with the floor. So it depends on what your risk tolerance is there. Yeah. Tim, Gus or CPAT? CPAT.
Patterson. Gus Edwards is probably going to be just fine at home, but it is a tough matchup by the numbers. The Broncos are pretty solid against the run. Patterson could kill the Steelers.
And if you can play it safe, Sotober, yeah, just go Jamal Williams.
Just go Jamal Williams. Yep, go Jamal Williams.
Terrell Taltoin, good to see you. Sutton or Pierce.
Houston's playing Cleveland.
Sutton.
That is a good matchup at home.
Sutton just gives you the floor. Right now, Dameon Pierce doesn't even give you the floor.
He can give you an upside play this week against Cleveland. Because what do I say about the Browns defense every single week? They stink. And especially on the ground, they stink. And they're at home. This would be the last week. It is put up or shut up time for Dameon Pierce. Let me put it this way. If Dameon Pierce doesn't deliver tomorrow, he is a bench for the rest of this season. I do think he's going to give you a little something with potential for a little bit more upside against a bad Cleveland defense that can't stop the run.
I look at every game Pierce has played since his bye. 13 points, and this is half PPR. 13 points, 12 points, 13 points, 11 points, 2 points, and 3 points. So floor of 2 to 3 points, ceiling of 11 to 13 points. Whereas you look at what Sutton has been giving you. I mean, yes, Sutton's been a floor play in his own right, but his floor in PPR is like 10 points based on the volume he's getting. 11 targets, 7 targets, 8 targets over the last 3 weeks since his bye. 9 points, 10 points, and 10 points. So if he gets the touchdown, we're talking about 17 points. But as a floor, for what he's getting for his target totals, I mean, he's giving you a 9-point floor, which is much better than Pierce. And the ceiling, 17 points. It's much better than what Pierce has been giving over the last 6 weeks. In PPR, I think I'm going with the boring wide receiver because if he scores the touchdown, he'll give you a week that you're happy with. And even if he doesn't, 9 to 10 points floor, I'm in PPR, cool.
He is questionable with an illness.
Is he?
Sutton is. Yeah. Optimism that he will play, so that's good, but he is questionable.
I'm willing to go with him if he plays. If he's not, Pierce is a solid swerve.
I would play Pierce. I think I would just play Pierce.
So
the matchup is very good.
D. Lenny, what do you think? Since you're helping everybody out in the chat, and we appreciate it greatly. What are you going with?
They're both very good matchups by the numbers, but I would play the dude who's not on the injury report.
And Tim, we don't know. We'll see.
He's got a clear concussion protocol. If he doesn't clear it, then he's not playing. There seems to be it's a bit of a, it's up in the air. If he hasn't cleared concussion protocol, it's difficult to, like, I think John mentioned this earlier in the stream. Concussions are not just like a blanket type of thing. It's or one size fits all. It's a different outcome for everybody. Like different people react to and recover from them differently.
Yeah.
The only people who know are the neurologists and doctors who can clear him or not. It is a true question mark.
Yep. And I'm going Anthony Schwartz. We'll see. Deep sleeper, sure, but we'll see.
He scored on an end around last week, but it wasn't. It was like a college-y type of, like a jet sweep play.
And Delaney's with you. He'd go Pierce. Fair enough.
Yeah, I would go Pierce. It's Cleveland. They're getting gashed on the ground, and they're at home. And Russ stinks. Kyle Allen stinks too, but yeah, I would play Pierce.
And I would still just go Sutton because in PPR. So we're split. But make up your you're gonna have to make up your own mind there. Hopefully us talking through helped.
Hopefully.
And then I would go Pacheco over Gus.
Pacheco's a way more intriguing.
Yep.
Patrick, I'm sorry. I don't mean
Dillon over Gus.
It's nothing personal, but but they stink.
And AJ Dillon over Gus.
No, I'm not chasing Dillon. I'll play Gus at home. No Dobbins for one more week. Gus scored last week. I'll play Gus over Dillon.
Yeah, I guess.
If Pirine, if Mixon is out, oh crap, that's a later game. It's a 4:25 start.
I'm just going Gus.
I would just go. I would just go Gus.
If we hear anything before then we'll let you know, and we might.
Yeah,
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's possible, but we'll see.
Right. Yep.
It's possible.
And D-Lenny, you're deciding between Sutton and Chark. Well, Sutton is ceiling. Chark is ceiling, but Sutton is much safer.
Chark could be capped a little bit now that JMO is back.
True.
I would go Sutton there.
I would go Sutton there too.
Yeah.
Jags versus Lions.
Cool, man. We used
highest
to be
point
we
total of the week.
Cool. Pulling for you, man. Get that dub this week. Does that make it better?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. And Jags Lions maybe the highest point total.
Yeah, it could be. I guess I would still put the safe money on the Bengals and the Chiefs. But yeah, there's not that much defense to certainly not in Detroit. Jacksonville's little, matchup. They match up well against opposing wide receivers. Although that could be neutralized for the Lions at home in the Dome, where Goff tends to play much better. Yeah, I would think that's top 2 or 3 as far as scoring tomorrow. But I would still put the safe money on the Chiefs and the Bengals. Give me Mahomes versus Burrow. That game should be great.
San Fran, Miami.
Yeah, that's the other one.
That's the other one.
That's the other one. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we are pretty close to the end here, it looks like, of the chat. If you guys have any other questions, I'm more than happy to go over anything else you have to go over. Good to know about that stat. D. Lenny didn't know that.
Yeah, they're crazy at home.
Yeah.
They're crazy at home.
And yeah, I'm not. Hey, that long run counts, Patrick. You can say what you will, but that long run counts because they've been good for a long run every game. That's the problem with them.
And he caught 9 passes.
Yeah.
Like he had an awesome game.
Yeah.
He had an RB1 game against them. And Pierce can too, despite being on a much worse offense. Yeah.
I'm still going Sutton because I think he's safer in PPR. But Pierce is
over chart.
If there is a week to play Pierce, I guess it is this week. Hasty is a nice stash.
Yeah, I guess, but only if you have ETN.
True.
Only if because ETN is fine, Doug Peterson said he's fine. He's still listed on the injury report as questionable, for whatever that's worth. If you have ETN, sure. If not, I'll let somebody else pick him up.
But thanks everybody for chilling with us today and all the supers we got today. Much appreciated today. Very generous crowd today for sure. Christian, thank you. Justine, thank you very much. If either of you guys are still in here, thank you to anybody who subbed today. If you are at all interested in becoming a member of this fantasy football channel, that gives you access to 2 extra streams a week plus some other perks depending on what tier of being a member you want to join as. You can click the first link in the description to get some any information you want on that. If not, and you just want to be a little bit more involved in this community, we have a Discord. It's the second link in the description, so click on that link to join our Discord absolutely free. And we got a great Discord going. You can bounce questions off of anybody in there, and Nick, who's super active in the Discord as well.
I try. Sometimes I fall asleep because of work.
Happens. It's the crunch time with that World Cup. But Tim, Murray or Knight?
I would go Lat. Revenge game narrative. I'm too gung ho about the revenge game narrative. I'll go Latavius Murray. I don't know.
I guess that's a floor play, but I think Knight might be a ceiling play.
I would just be a little worried about Ty Johnson getting a little bit more work given the situation and potential game.
You could.
That's all.
But thank you again, guys, for chilling. Again, we have a stream starting tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST. So come join us then, and we can talk through any more situations that you might have with respect to lineups. And we'll, as soon as updates come out with your Antonio Gibsons and your Lattimores, hopefully we'll get some news on some of those later game players in the early stretch. We'll be live for that too. So come through. And we'll chill in the morning while everybody wakes up and has their coffee, morning smoke, whatever it is. But we will we'll see you tomorrow.
Drinks.
Thanks for chilling. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Enjoy the Saturday. Thanks for coming.